Will Smith once wrote about a spirit he came to know only as the mother. Not a metaphor, presence. He met her again and again during ceremonies in the Amazon. And when she didn't show up, he called it some of the most hellish psychological experiences of his life. Steve Jobs said taking LSD was one of the most important things he ever did. Elon Musk publicly said that psychedelics can revive the mind for the better. And Sam Altman, the man behind ChatGPT, has talked openly about a single weekend at a retreat in Mexico that changed him more than he thought possible. Different people, different decades, different reasons for looking. But somehow they all came back describing the same thing: a door, a threshold, a place they didn't know existed until they stepped through it. So here's the question I want to pose today. What if the biggest trends of our moment, the psychedelic renaissance, the AI boom, even the wellness retreat down the road, what if they're not actually separate stories? What if they're the same story, but wearing different clothes? I'm Nori, and for more than 4 decades, Nori Media Group has worked with authors and leaders willing to say the things that a lot of people are quietly wondering about, but they don't always know how to put it into words. Every so often, a manuscript crosses our desk that connects dots that most of us have never thought to connect. Today, I want to walk through one of those ideas with you. Here's what actually is happening. In Peru, more than 70 retreat centers now cater almost entirely to foreigners. 15 to 20,000 people fly in every year, mostly from the West, to drink a brew in a ceremony that isn't theirs, chasing something they can't quite name in a tradition that they barely understand. It's now a business worth more than $17 million a year in just one city alone. And meanwhile, in Silicon Valley, founders and venture capitalists are microdosing in between board meetings. The searches for microdosing have gone up more than 12-fold since 2015. And this isn't a fringe subculture anymore. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry wrapped in the language of medicine. Why? Why now? And why so many people at once? Because underneath the branding, underneath the retreats and the research labs that are offering the same thing they've always offered, a shortcut healing without the slow work, insight without the years, transformation without ever really having to change. And that promise isn't new, it's ancient. Go back to the beginning and you find humanity standing between 2 trees. One tree asks for trust, a slower, surrendered kind of growth. The other offers something else entirely: immediate insight, immediate peace, immediate identity. No waiting required. The people that take the second tree rarely think of themselves as doing anything spiritual. They think they're optimizing, healing, evolving. But every tradition that has ever offered a shortcut to transcendence has asked for the same thing in return: permission, an open door, a yes. That's what is striking about the accounts coming out of these ceremonies. Practitioners will tell you plainly, this isn't a hallucination. This is a spiritual transaction. You prepare your body, you ask for entry, and by tradition, something on the other side has to say yes back. And this surprised me when researching this. Across different continents, different cultures, people with no connection to each other keep describing encountering the same things: a great serpent, geometric, intelligent beings that communicate without words, presences that seem to be expecting them. Not random imagery, the same imagery, again and again, in strangers who've never met. It's not just retreat centers in the jungle anymore either. In Baltimore, Johns Hopkins runs one of the most respected psychedelic research programs in the country. More than 60 published studies, all on depression, anxiety, addiction, serious science, real institutions, real funding, but they're looking closely at how they measure success. And you'll notice something unexpected. One of their key markers isn't just symptom reduction, it's whether participant reports what researchers themselves call a mystical experience. Medicine and mysticism filed under the same spreadsheet. And now some of the most influential people building our future have talked about their own version of this journey. Now, according to author Darren Stott, whose research is the foundation for what we're exploring today, Sam Altman's 2024 retreat in Mexico wasn't simply self-care. Stott argues that what Altman experienced was less like a mental health breakthrough and more like spiritual rewiring, and that soon after, the direction and pace of his company's most important work noticeably shifted. That's Stott's interpretation, not a documented fact, and it's worth sitting with rather than dismissing outright. What happens when the people shaping our most powerful technologies are being shaped by something they can't fully explain? I want to stop here a moment because I know what some of you are thinking. Isn't it a good thing if people are healing? If a retreat helps someone process trauma that therapy never touched, isn't that something? Do we really want to question it? And that's fair. That deserves a real answer, right? Not dismissal. Something can genuinely feel better and still not be the same thing as being made whole. Relief isn't the same as transformation. A shortcut can quiet the symptom and never touch the root. The real question isn't whether people feel something real in these moments. It's what they're agreeing to and what it's actually costing them to get there. So let me bring it closer to home. In your own life, are you reaching for the fast tree? Maybe it's not a retreat in Peru. Maybe it's what you're feeling, what you're letting shape your thinking, what you're letting shape your identity, your kid's sense of what's normal, without ever really examining the source. And here's what I'd offer, drawn from some practical wisdom in Stott's book. Start by naming your own access points. The media, the substances, the mentors you've let set some of the terms without you ever asking who they answer to. Say it out loud, honestly, what you're no longer willing to agree to. Let's trade the shortcut for the slower rhythms that actually build something in you over time. Prayer, honest community, real rest, the kind of growth that can't be rushed, and test anything that claims to be revelation, insight, or breakthrough against a simple measure. Does it lead you toward truth, toward love, toward people around you? Or does it quietly lead you away from them? That one question will tell you more than any experience ever could. Because here's the hope in all of this. The ache people are chasing through every one of these doors for wholeness, for peace, for something bigger than themselves. That ache is real. It was never the problem. The problem is where we've been looking to satisfy it. There's a door that doesn't ask you to pay with your soul to walk through it. A door that offers everything the shortcuts promise: healing, identity, peace, but without the transaction. Christians have called it grace for 2,000 years, and it remains the one gate that is never meant to cost you yourself. Much of what we've explored today comes from Darren Stott's book, Exposing Portals of Darkness, published by Destiny Image. Stott spent years tracing how ancient patterns of counterfeit transcendence have resurfaced across psychedelics, technology, and modern spirituality. And he writes not to leave you afraid, but to help you recognize the real. The questions we've explored today are bigger than one video, and they're worth sitting with. And if this gave you a new way to see something you've been watching from a distance, share it with someone who needs the same lens. And you'll find more about the author and the book in the description. And if you want to keep exploring ideas like this one, subscribe to Nori Media Group. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.